Welcome back to another episode of the Owl Pod. I'm your host, David Litvin. Alongside me, my beloved co-host,
Amelia, right?
And today, we're recording our 9th episode of the Owl Pod, believe it or not. If this is your first time joining, welcome. If it's your 9th, welcome back. Shout out Mom and Dad.
Loyal fans.
Very loyal fans. And now, as of what, 2 weeks, we have an Instagram account up and running.
Oh yeah, we've gotten some new followers on there. If you're not already following, follow at the Owl Podcast.
At the Owl Podcast. As we're recording, we have around 70 followers.
Yeah.
So thank you for everyone who's hit that follow button. Now, go ahead and tune into the podcast.
Yeah, and as we always say, you can always DM us any thoughts, any things you want on Temple Takes us to talk about. We're always looking in those DMs.
Yeah, and on that, DM's been a little dry, to be honest with you guys. I've asked, I think, every episode to fire in those DMs. And, either you guys don't have an idea or you can't find the Instagram, but please, fire in those DMs. We'd love to answer your questions. We'd love to answer your takes. We'd love to hear your takes. So just a reminder, hit us up at the Owl Podcast. And today's a bit of a unique episode. For those of you that have tuned in before, we usually bring a fellow student athlete or someone related to athletics on. But today,
it's just us.
It's just us.
For better or worse? I think for better.
I think
it's
for
better. It's going to be a fun episode.
But it's just us. We're going to take you through, like we always do, our recap in Temple Athletics, give you a little preview of what's to come. And today we're going to do a little bit something different. Instead of interviewing someone, we're going to give a bit of a preview, you could say, for the upcoming basketball seasons. We'll cover both the men's and women's. We'll, give some thoughts on the upcoming season. Also talk about an upcoming event with the basketball teams. And then we'll do what we always do. Give a little Temple Takes.
A little owl or foul.
Should we give a little preview of what we're talking about in the takes today?
No, I think it should be a surprise.
No, it's going to be a surprise. So stick around for that. And then we'll end how we always do. A little owl or foul. I'd stick around for that because
that's David's favorite part.
I think the people are going to want to hear the owl this week. I think
it might cause some ruckus.
Might cause some ruckus, but
it's facts. That's for sure.
It's facts. But before we get into all that, let's start with our recap. And we'll start off with women's soccer, who had a bye week.
We talked with Tamsin last week.
Remember last week we talked with Tamsin. It was a great episode. I actually, this was the first episode. No, that's not true. Maybe the first episode in a month where I've actually gone back and listened to the entire episode.
Wow.
It was a good episode.
Don't know if you should admit that.
Not to toot my own horn, but no, I don't like to listen to myself. I don't know about you.
Okay.
Do you like to listen?
Sometimes, but not if I know I say some weird things.
Yeah, as soon as I say something weird, I don't usually listen.
Cut the tapes.
I had to hear my Thanksgiving comparison to Sunday roast on the air, so I did go back and listen. It was a great episode.
Yeah.
Thanks again for Tamsin for coming on. That was awesome.
My grandma, actually, I know she didn't send it in the DMs. I don't know if she follows the podcast just yet, but she sent me every single one of her thoughts on Temple Takes. So I thought you'd like that, David.
You didn't. I'm getting this live on air. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We should have your grandma on the podcast, maybe.
She's in Alabama, so it might be a little hard, but we could always share her thoughts.
We could Zoom her in. I feel like if we ever need a guest, that's good to know. But women's soccer had the week off, but they're traveling to Alabama this week.
Yeah, take
on UAB on Thursday for another conference game. Hopefully, women's soccer, like we talked with Tamsin,
beat the Blazers.
Believe they have 3 or 4 games left in the season. Hopefully, they can end on a high note. So they'll travel down there, take on the UAB, you say Blazers?
Blazers, yep.
The Blazers on Thursday.
Yeah.
Moving into field hockey, who had 2 matches previous week. They traveled down to Virginia, take on Old Dominion. In a tough match on Friday, they took Old Dominion to double overtime on the road. Unfortunately, ended up losing in overtime, double overtime. Unfortunate result for a conference match. I know they wanted that one.
Hard fight there.
I know the conference this year has been strong. We've talked about it before. And they came back home on Sunday, took on the Penn Quakers. I feel like we always talk about
We always talk about Penn. We don't like Penn, clearly.
Yeah, we don't. And the Quakers got the best of the Owls on Sunday.
3-2 loss there.
Taking down the Owls 3-2. I think Temple made a comeback in the second half.
Yeah.
They fell. I can't even talk. Fell just short.
Yeah.
3-2. But we do need to talk about Peyton.
Yeah. Shout out Peyton. She was on the pod. They just released a new fun fact about her. She's the
leading point scorer for the Owls. The most points in a season since 2015.
Yeah. She has 23 right now.
I think she has 23 points.
Still have some games to go.
She has 8 goals to date.
Yeah, that's crazy.
She's been crushing it. And she, like Amelia mentioned, she was on the pod a couple weeks ago. We talked to her, and just really happy for her and all the success she's had this season helping the Owls. Definitely tough week for them, with 2 losses. But I believe in that team. Yeah. They're going to come back this week. They take on Liberty on Friday. That's a conference matchup. On Friday at home at TSC, and then they come back again on Sunday. That's
always a good game.
Come back on Sunday and take on Yale again at home on Sunday. So hopefully Owls bounce back this week. I'm sure they're going to be coached hard. I'm sure they're going to be ready to go as they continue this conference push. And we're coming up on the end of the season for them with conference tournament looming around the corner. So I'm sure they're going to make a push to get into that tournament.
I think they need to win the next final conference games to get into that tournament. So like we've talked, their coach is awesome, and she's going to have a good game plan, I'm sure, for this Liberty game, and that's going to be a tough matchup.
It's going to be a tough matchup, but I believe in the Owls, especially coming off those 2 losses. I bet 2 really close losses. I think the team will be motivated. They'll come out swinging on Friday. So
For sure.
If you're in the area, if you're a Temple student, make your way down to TSC. Support Temple Field Hockey as they have a big match.
Yeah.
Let's talk men's soccer. They traveled down to Memphis last week on Saturday. Memphis, always a tough match. They always have a pretty legitimate soccer program. They went down there. We're down 2-1 at halftime, and the match ended 4-2. Good to see the Owls put up some goals. This is something that they've struggled with this season, is scoring goals, and to score 2 on the road, I think that's an encouraging sign for the offense. Obviously not the result that they wanted, but I think,
a step in the right direction.
A step in the right direction in terms of, scoring goals, and they're coming back home this week. They'll take on USF on Friday. So, again, Friday and Sunday, just give you guys a heads up. If you're going to hang around TSC, you're going to see a lot of action those days because a lot of home matches for the Owls. A lot of going on at TSC this week. So, you'll catch men's soccer on Friday. They take on USF and what should be a good conference matchup. I know, again, they still have hope to make their conference tournament. They're going to have to win a handful of these games down the road.
Get some points.
Down the stretch. So, hopefully they can get some points this week. As they take on USF. Speaking of a team that's been on the road, women's volleyball.
They have a terrible travel schedule. They are just all around everywhere.
They were in North Dakota earlier this year. They traveled to Florida this past weekend to take on the two Florida schools in the conference. They started with FAU on Friday and a loss to FAU. And then they went on Sunday against USF, and they dropped another game. So after starting off hot in the conference, the Owls have struggled a little bit here.
Yeah.
Luckily for them, they play 2 matches a week, so not much time to think about this past week. They got to move forward.
And they face everyone in the conference twice, I'm pretty sure. So
they do play a lot of matches.
Yeah,
I think
always
I was
time
talking
for
to shout out to Cairo. I was talking to Cairo in the training room this past week before they left for Florida. She told me they play 30 matches.
That's crazy.
And if you think about it, they're not playing those matches over like the course of like 5 months. Like some sports, play, basketball, I'm thinking they start in November, they end in March.
Yeah.
They play those matches from the end of August to really the beginning of November. So there's not much time there to get 30 matches in. That's you're playing 2 or 3 games a week. So
yeah, that's tough.
They're constantly busy. So not much time to think about this past weekend. They got to move on. They're taking on UAB on Friday, and then they're going to be home again on Sunday against Memphis. So, again, a lot of action this week.
Hopefully Temple beats UAB a couple times this week.
a lot of matches against the Blazers this week. Hopefully the Owls can come up on top. But definitely tune in on Friday and on Sunday in McGonigal Hall as the Owls try to get back on track in the conference. We're going to talk about a sport now we haven't talked about at all in the podcast.
Yeah.
Not because
this is a fun
we don't love this sport, but because the sport hasn't been in season. But speaking of sports that are in season for a long time, Temple fencing.
They got a long season.
Once they start,
they don't ever stop.
Doesn't feel like they ever stop.
That's true.
Luckily for us, their first I'm going to get this wrong. Let's call it a competition.
Yeah, I think that's a good word.
Fencing, I apologize if there's a more proper way of.
David's gotten in trouble with a few fencing terms before.
I have gotten myself into trouble.
The strip or something, the blue mat.
I called it a mat. It's a strip.
That's terrible.
I called it a sword.
Oh.
It's a weapon.
And there's different types of them, or
there's
saber.
different weapons. And I think that just shows that I need to be educated a little bit more in the fencing
Yeah.
world. But I'll make that a priority moving forward, especially because we're talking about them so much.
Yeah. But the Temple fencing program is one that has, like, stood out in
they're amazing.
the nation.
Yeah,
like,
they're like regularly nationally ranked.
Got some great talent there.
They got some great talent.
And they had a great coach, Nikki Frank, which is
what we're going to talk about right now, which is on Saturday, the Nikki Frank Classic.
Yeah.
Takes place Saturday and Sunday, but
huge tournament. Don't know how that works in fencing, but I know it's a big deal.
Well, I went last year,
Okay.
and they have it in Liacouras, and they are just mats out the wazoo in this place.
Is it mats, though?
Sorry,
or is it strips?
See, I'm already going to get in trouble here.
Yeah.
There are strips out the wazoo in Liacouras. There's probably, if I had to guess, 20 strips.
I think that's what they said at the SAC meeting. And
20 strips.
All at once, right?
All at once. It's like if you love like action, like I'm someone who
Weapons?
like I
Like,
love just like watching sports. Like there's so much competition going on. And what's cool about fencing is I never realized this before I actually went. Those environments are so like hype.
Yeah.
Like they get so hype and exciting.
They're passionate about it.
They're so passionate. I think it's a great sport to watch, especially like I never went to a fencing match.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you understand what's going on?
No, you don't, but I think that adds the excitement because you just see like how passionate they get and you're like, I don't even know what's going on, but it's exciting. So I definitely like recommend at least going once to a fencing match, especially this is going to be in Liacouras. It's a little bit more comfortable in there than McGonigal, I will say.
Yeah.
I got my issues. Maybe that's a future foul.
Ooh, okay.
But yeah, so check out the fencing tournament. The women are going to be fencing on Saturday. I think the men's are on Sunday, but we don't have a men's fencing team. So actually we did. Shout out my grandfather. My grandfather was on the Temple men's fencing team.
Random David Lippman fact.
That is a fun fact.
Yeah.
You know what? I might, this is going to be good. I'm going to put that next week in the SAC meeting and see
who listens.
Okay. So if you listen and you're a part of SAC, you're going to get that trivia question. Maybe
is this going to be in this activity?
Yeah, maybe you'll get a gift card or something.
Okay.
But my grandfather was on the Temple men's fencing team. Back to what I was saying about the tournament. The Owls will be in action on Saturday. So get over to Liacouras, watch them compete. It's going to be fun. And they start their long season. So we'll look forward to tuning in. Let's talk my sport, cross country. We traveled to Princeton on Friday in a pretty big race for us. It was the last race before conference, which is going to happen in just under 2 weeks here down in Charlotte. So really a good opportunity for us to build some confidence going into the biggest race of the year. And I think, a couple things stood out to me. First off, got to give a shout out to my fellow senior, the only other senior on my team, Mattia Zen, who had his best race as an Owl. He PR'd, believe by over 20 seconds. He ran 24:19 for 8K. For those of you who don't know, that's about 4:55 per mile. So for 5 miles. So
that's crazy.
A blazing pace. He ran super well and carried the Owls. I think it was for the men. It was a pretty solid result based on kind of where we are in terms of health and fitness right now. Definitely gained some confidence going down into our biggest race of the year. The women, unfortunately, are battling some injuries and some sicknesses, so they weren't fully healthy for this race. But I think for them, they still had some big PRs. Actually, Mimi, who came on the podcast a couple episodes.
Shout out Mimi.
Got to shout out her. She had a PR by over a minute, which is great.
That seems crazy.
Yeah, it's great. And if you think about it, the women run 6K. So by running a minute faster than you ever have before over that distance is very impressive. So huge shout out to Mimi and all the other girls who competed, very well. And they'll hope to, continue that momentum into Charlotte.
Speaking of Charlotte.
Just under 2 weeks. Speaking of Charlotte, going on to Charlotte and kicking ass.
Yeah.
Taking names. Let's talk Temple football. We'll wrap it up with Temple football.
Yeah. The grand finale.
I think we're both pretty
excited. Oh.
Yeah. I said ecstatic. You said excited.
Yeah. Almost the same there. Yeah. Temple Owls had a huge win over Charlotte this week. I think that reinsured probably the confidence. Some people lost it. Me and David didn't.
No, if you listen to the podcast, we're believers here of Temple
Keeler
football.
effect.
Keeler effect's in full swing. And I think a couple things to hit on. First off, complete domination. The game was tied 7-7 at one point. And then you look up.
What, in the first quarter?
Yeah. I know it was. And then you look up and it's 49-7.
Yeah.
And the game ended 49-14. But the point is, the Owls went down there and dominated. And I think we all know the stats of previous years of Rhodes' success or lack thereof.
Yeah.
The Owls have 2 road wins this year. I think that's really important. I think it's a lot harder, especially in college football. I'm not saying Charlotte 49ers home fan base is like anything crazy, but to go down on the road in a conference matchup and dominate the way they did, I think it's really impressive. I think it shows. To me, it was just a reassurance that this is a legitimate football team. Last week we had the heartbreaker against Navy.
Yeah.
I feel like in years past that kind of loss could have kind of spiraled the team out.
Very
For them
true.
to come back on the road and win the way they did, not just win but dominate. To me, it showed like we are a legitimate football team here.
Yeah.
And we can compete in the conference. So I think it was more than just a road win. It was really really felt like a culture win.
Yeah, and I think that just shows like the Keeler really gave us a good schedule this year, and like we've had some tough losses, but it's really built them well to prepare well for conference, and hopefully they can take that into this week and when they face Tulsa and get another road win.
Yeah, so they're traveling down to Tulsa, and if you kind of zoom out, look at the conference. So I believe the Owls, they moved to 2-1 in the conference because they just lost to Navy. They beat UTSA. So they're 2-1 in the conference, and the remaining games are all in conference. So they kind of control their own destiny in terms of not only securing a bowl game, but securing their spot in the conference. Because if you look ahead, they go on the road to Tulsa this week. Then they come back against ECU. And then they end the season with Army, North Texas, and Tulane. Now, that order might be out of whack for the last two, but the point is Tulane and North Texas are both, pretty highly competitive teams, especially North Texas.
Yeah, they've both been dominating recently.
Yeah, I believe they only have one loss each. So the point is, like, the Owls kind of control their destiny moving forward in the conference at least. And if you look at the bowl game, they only need to win 2 of the remaining games to get that bowl game, which would be a huge turn of events for us.
We want them in a bowl game.
We want this team in a bowl game.
That would be insane. In first year of this program, what was the stat we saw earlier? Casey Keeler now has 275 career wins.
275 career wins, which moves him into the top 20 in FBS.
Gotta love him.
Which is huge, yeah. And
you have to.
Got to give a quick shout out to Evan Simon, who after the game recognized that in the locker room. You see that? Did you see that clip?
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was
great
a
leadership.
Pretty cool moment. And if we're talking locker room, we got to talk.
Oh, we have to talk about the dancing.
Keeler's dancing. I think
if you haven't seen it, you need to go on the Temple Football Instagram. It's probably on the Temple Owls Instagram. Their post-game dance parties
they're electric.
They're amazing. I need to be there.
If you're listening to this podcast and haven't seen those videos,
what are you doing?
That's concerning.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just post one on our.
We should actually.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, super excited for this upcoming week for Temple football.
I hope they're dancing in a bowl game and in the locker room.
There we go.
In the upcoming weeks.
Yeah. So stay in touch with the Owls this week. A lot of home games. A lot of things to watch.
Big conference week.
Definitely be in tune. Speaking of upcoming events on Temple University campus, let's talk about the Joe Lunardi event that's taking place on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. in the Liacouras Center. For those of you that don't know, Joe Lunardi is an ESPN bracketologist, and he is doing an event with Temple basketball coaches, Coach Fisher and Coach Rich.
Philly native. They're going to be talking all things. I'm sure they're going to be talking NIL. I'm sure they're going to be talking about Temple basketball programs. It's going to be a fun event. There's going to be food. I believe there's, a Maxie's pizza flyer? Yeah, or a ticket. Yeah. So get that if you show up, and that's awesome.
Yeah, but honestly, we did an event not through Temple Athletics. We did a similar event in the spring with Adrian Wojnarowski, who, if you guys don't know, Woj was a reporter for ESPN, covered basketball.
He went to Temple, right?
No, he went to St. Bonaventure.
Oh, okay.
And they did an event with Kevin Agandi, who did go to Temple and still works at ESPN. Woj is now the GM at St. Bonaventure. But the point is they did a really cool event last year, focused on NIL, focused on kind of the new era of college sports. I'm expecting this event to be even better, considering it's put on by Temple Athletics. It's going to be
has the coaches
involved. Going to have the coaches involved.
Those coaches, that's 2 coaches right there that bring the energy.
They bring the juice.
Fisher and Rich, they can control a room. Their sayings, like they just know how to captivate a crowd.
100%. I couldn't agree more. I think this is going to be a really fun event. So if you're in town, or if you're on campus, swing on over to that.
Get a free Maxie's pizza slice if you want.
Yeah.
Sponsor us if you want also Maxie's. We would love that.
They are a sponsor. Maxie's.
We need an NIL deal then, David.
Okay. We can work on that off air. But Maxie's is a proud sponsor of Temple Athletics. But speaking of the basketball programs.
Yeah, let's get into it.
I think it's fair that we give a little preview of each of them.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Let's start with the women's team. And for those of you that don't know, I have a special place in my heart in Temple women's basketball.
I just learned about this. This is awesome.
Considering my sophomore, I don't think many people know this.
Yeah.
My sophomore year, I was on the scout team for women's basketball, which basically means I was a practice player. I helped them out. Not that I had, any sort of basketball career in high school, but
you're tall. That gives you an
tall,
advantage, right?
I'm athletic enough. I played the 5, so I would help out, and I even traveled with them a little bit. So got a special place in my heart for that program.
We're just unlocking so many facts about you today.
I know, right? I'm a facts machine today, but I know Coach Rich. I know their staff. They got a great staff, and you talk about bringing the juice. Not just Coach Rich, the entire staff does. They got a real operation up there. The Owls were ranked 4th. The preseason poll just came out
for the American Conference. Yeah,
a couple years ago, if you guys remember, they won the regular season conference. I actually got
They got a share of it last year too, didn't they?
Not last year.
2 years ago?
2 years ago they did.
Okay.
So preseason ranked number 4. One thing to note about this team is they're young. They have no seniors. A couple of really, really amazing juniors, but no seniors.
I think only like 2 or 3 juniors also, which is crazy.
Well, I know they have Tristan Taylor, who's their point guard. She's great. They have Jaleesa from the Netherlands. She's awesome. But yeah, it's gonna be a younger team for the Owls, and I think coming off last year, they were 20-11 overall and 13-5 in the American Conference. So they had a really solid season last year. Didn't end the way they wanted to in the tournament, but I think with some new pieces coming in, getting a little bit younger, I think they're gonna be an exciting team to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
And that basketball season's right around the corner. They start up in early November, so I think it'll be good to tune into them, and hopefully in the coming weeks we'll have a Temple women's basketball player on the podcast.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean, you saw the American Conference. They just did all the media day stuff for that. And, I mean, we could talk about Coach Rich for a whole podcast, but Tristan and, all those girls just talk about how much of a good culture they have on that team and the energy they bring in. That just really makes you want to buy in on that program, and I'm hoping for a lot of success because we love Temple Owls' success, right?
Yeah, 100%. Just to echo that, I think, Coach Rich definitely establishes a really strong culture. They do a lot of stuff, not just on the court, but they do a lot of stuff in the community. They're constantly engaging with people. I think the program itself is really easy to get behind. I think it's something that I would like to see more on campus, supporting Temple women's basketball. They do a lot, and they're a really fun program to watch. They play a really fun and exciting brand of basketball.
Yeah, and we see they're going to be good. They're going to be
competitive
contenders in this conference.
Yeah.
4th in the conference, and I'm sure that's even more drive for them to.
Yeah, I remember
team.
when I first started with them, they were ranked last.
Wow.
In the preseason conference poll, and they ended up, having a share of the regular season championship. So I know it was actually hung up on the wall.
Did you hear the pillowcase story too?
Yes, I did hear the
Coach
pillowcase.
Rich, if you guys haven't heard, gave the girls pillowcases.
I think I was actually in the meeting when she announced that.
So they could dream of an American Conference championship or something. And I don't know if it was on the side, Temple won the conference or something, but that is an amazing coaching piece.
I actually vividly remember that conversation.
It must have been a SAC meeting or something, but I loved that piece there.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, so I definitely tune in. We'll have a Temple women's basketball player on the pod in the coming weeks, but wanted to give him a shout out, considering the season's around the corner. And speaking of basketball, let's touch on men's as well.
Of course.
We can start with, I guess, we talk about preseason ranking for the women's. For the men's, they're ranked 9th. So I'm sure, again, talk about motivation. Probably in part because it's a really new team.
Yeah.
Only 3 returners from last year.
A lot of transfers from schools all over the country.
Yeah, they hit the portal pretty hard in terms of recruiting. So I think they added 8 people from the portal. And along with a couple freshmen who are definitely going to hope to contribute this year. I think like you said with Coach Fish, I've actually really enjoyed watching this team play in his first couple seasons. They've had some pretty big moments in the last couple of years. Obviously, you remember his first season making that run in the conference tournament. And they've also had stretches where they've struggled in conference play. So I think this year, it'll be good for them to establish some more consistency in conference play. I think like one of the things that's really cool, and we didn't even touch on this for the women, is the Big Five coming back. I guess it's technically 6 teams, but the Big Five is kind of like before we get into conference play, kind of like a mini round robin that goes into a tournament. And actually, the women's basketball won last year.
Yeah.
The Big Five.
It's always a huge tournament, and they're always competitive games. I remember when we beat Villanova, what was that, maybe 2 years ago, and we flooded the court. Like,
yeah,
that was
2 or 3 years ago. But yeah, those are always really fun. I know we have LaSalle on the schedule for that. So I think like that's something to look forward to is can we establish kind of our consistency in our performance in before conference play. I know we take on a couple of pretty good, out of conference opponents. I know we're playing Davidson. I know, obviously, we have the Big Five. We're taking on Boston College. So there's some pretty good competition before we hit the conference play, which obviously we know has some pretty solid teams with Memphis, who are always really competitive. We actually took down last year at home. That was you at that game?
Yeah, I was.
Game. So I think, honestly, both basketballs.
It's going to be a fun year.
Pretty exciting. A lot of new faces on the court. I think that's good. But I think the overarching message is we're putting our stock into these 2 head coaches.
They're building good cultures. They're building confidence in these players, and I hope it shows up on the court.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm really pulling hard for them, and I'm excited to bring some of them on the pod and get some more inside scoop. But yeah, that does it for our basketball preview.
Yeah, it was exciting.
What do you say we dive into our your favorite? This is your favorite segment.
Yeah, everyone knows this is my favorite if they've been tuned in. We're gonna do Temple takes today. We always try to come up with a fun theme, and this week's theme is gonna be game day essentials or game day routines. Maybe is a better word for it. And for those that don't know, we just rate overrated, underrated, and then we get really passionate and describe why, usually.
Well, yeah, some more passionate than others. I will say I was taking some heat as we were coming up with this list because,
our sports are very different.
Sometimes it's not the easiest to apply these to cross country. So maybe some of them will include track in there.
Well, and he also shared with me about the scout team. So then I was like, well, now I have to include like the core and stuff.
No.
So
like the scout team, I've hung up the basketball shoes probably for better. Haven't touched a basketball in a while, but no, I just think cross country. Maybe some of these answers will have to be edited a little bit, but
okay.
We'll see.
But they can relate enough.
Yeah, our listeners will understand.
Okay.
It's a smart audience.
Yes, of course. If they listen to the Owl Pod, they're obviously smart. Let's start off with, I know you have some thoughts on caffeine. Let's do energy drinks before games. I'll start us off. I think underrated. I love, going grocery shopping or even, stopping by 7-Eleven on my way home, getting my Pedialyte for hydration. Everyone knows I love my Pedialyte. And then I love a fun energy drink. And I usually go with Celsius. That's my go-to, and I just love trying new flavors. Recently, favorite's been cherry cola. I don't drink the whole thing because then I get too much energy because I'm full of energy.
Isn't that product banned from the NCAA?
Yeah. I probably shouldn't talk about this.
Celsius is such a gray area. I feel like people drink them, but it's not recommended because it's over the certain.
There's something like guanine there's one of those chemistry things is in it.
If Christy listens to this, we'll probably get pinged.
But I think it's also if you have it every single day. I honestly only drink energy drinks before a crazy run, which you would have your own thoughts about a crazy run. But that and game day, that's my energy drink.
So you're underrated. Yeah, I'm overrated just because
predictable.
I think say what you want, but yeah, for us, I guess this is a personal thing because I know some runners love to rip the caffeine before races. I don't need all of that. I'm trying to stay relatively relaxed, relatively calm. I will say the electrolyte stuff, I'm all for it.
Hydration's a totally different conversation.
But I don't need the caffeine. I don't do it in a normal day, so I try not to do it.
You don't drink coffee, no energy drinks.
I don't do none
no
of that.
tea, as we learned last week.
On a normal day, so when I go race, I don't want to suddenly add another variable that I'm not used to. So I think for me, if I was to drink coffee every day before a workout, yeah, I'd probably do it on race day, but I'm not going to add something that.
Okay. So you're cool, calm, and collected, and you do that on race day too.
Yeah, it's strictly H2O.
Okay. Not even Powerade for you.
Well, yeah, maybe not strictly H2O, but it's a lot of H2O with a little bit of Powerade.
Okay. All right. Next, we're going to do night games.
Night games.
This is maybe one of the ones that David got a little sarcastic comment from me.
Yeah, this one, I mean, we've raced at night. It's not common. Most of our cross-country races are in the morning, but I'll just apply this to the track, where in track we do race a lot at night.
Why is that? Just because there's so many events?
Because it's a little bit cooler.
Oh, really?
So in the track can get a little hot, especially if you're running like 10K, 5K.
Yeah.
So they have them at night, so the weather isn't as big of a factor.
Okay.
Whereas in cross country, you're in the fall, it's a little bit cooler anyway. So the night races, I will say overrated, just because I think for running especially, like you got to be a little bit more careful on race day with how you kind of eat and how you prepare.
Yeah.
So when it's in the morning, there's just less factors, less opportunity to eat something that could propel you in the wrong way.
I agree with that.
I've had an issue. I'm not going to go into too depth. I did have an issue last spring where I had an evening race and my lunch didn't sit the way I did. And I will say,
let's just leave it there.
I'm just going to add one more thing. I'm going to add one more thing. I said to myself after the race, and I've stayed true to it to this day, I have not consumed that establishment since that incident.
Okay.
I'll just leave it there.
All right, yeah.
So that's all I have to say.
Mystery.
That's all I have to say about night games.
Okay. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go overrated night games. I have not had a night game for a while. We just did have a scrimmage this Friday against Monmouth. That was at 6 p.m. But usually we're a big afternoon team. Like we play at 3 p.m. or noon. I think that allows for like ease of like traveling. Maybe that's really why we do it, so teams can like leave after. But I think especially in lacrosse, it's really hard to see the ball with like the lights above.
That's such a good point.
Yeah, I mean we do use yellow balls, but even in Star, our indoor practice facility, like even those lights like really affect like a high pass above your head, and it's a big adjustment factor.
And you're not wearing helmets, so that thing hits you in the head. That can't feel good. You ever that's happened right to you before?
Oh yeah, I've gotten hit in the ear. I lose my hearing. Like I probably have some hearing damage for sure.
That's tough. Yeah, that's such a good point.
Yeah,
I guess like I have a good friend who plays lacrosse, and I've been to a couple of games. They're never at night, or they're rarely at night because like that's just a good point. I never thought about that.
Yeah. So it's hard with the lights, but I do think sometimes it's nice because like it's easier for people to come to.
I also just think night games in general are just kind of overrated.
Yeah, I'm tired. Yeah. I think football, I would say maybe not.
Even in like college, I don't know. I'm kind of a sucker for like a 12 p.m. start. Maybe that's crazy.
But usually a 7:30 night game is like the best game of the day. You know, But then it's good because you're building up the hype about it all day.
Yeah, the hype's there. I feel like it's just a lot of time. Sometimes I just like get it done with.
Okay, understandable. Let's go next. Rain game. I mean, we've had a lot of rain in the past week here.
Yeah. Let's go inclement weather.
Okay, extreme weather.
We could go rain, snow.
I have different answers though. If it's rain or snow, I'm going to be honest. I think rain is the worst condition to play lacrosse in. I'm going to be honest. Hands slippery, ball slippery. The netting on your stick also like becomes illegal. So in girls lacrosse, it has to be like above like, I don't even know how to describe this. Like the head like has a line on the side. Ball has to be above that. So once your strings get wet, it like sags. So I think rain, I'm going overrated. I think if anyone says they like playing lacrosse in the rain, they are insane. But if I had to pick rain or snow, I would go snow. Because I think it's not as like slippery and stuff, and it's kind of pretty, you know?
Yeah, I think like this is not a good answer. My answer is like depends kind of on the rain. Like mist.
Like how hard?
I love mist. Like hard rain is miserable.
Yeah, true.
I will say like not really related to my sport. So maybe not really fair to comment on this, but there's nothing more overrated than a snow football game.
How often does that happen, though?
Happens about once a year, and everyone gets super excited, and then you just watch the product, and it's like
like
so much worse.
A Bills game in the snow,
it's
6
terrible.
feet.
Like,
oh yeah,
it's just not like no one watches that and thinks like, oh,
I want to be there.
This is really fun to watch. Like it's just not a good product. I just always see that at once a year. There's that post. It's like, oh, this team's playing in the snow. It's like I'm not looking forward to that event. Like I don't want to watch that. I want to watch both teams line up
And be able to see the lines, maybe?
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy when they have to, like, shovel it after every single play.
I'm out. Yeah. As a consumer, I'm out.
All right, let's go next. Let's do game day hair, which I'm sure David's going to have some good comments on.
Or
no comments. As a guy, this one might be kind of hard, but I think game day hair is underrated. I think this is like the only day I kind of do like fun hairstyles. For those that maybe don't see like the woman college athletics world, but like doing like the crazy braids and stuff is like so fun as a girl. And I wish I had more hair so I could do like crazy looks, but like I love a classic like 2 braids into a bun. Right. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I actually thought about it. I'm gonna say underrated because like for me, I kind of like getting a haircut before a race.
Okay.
I kind of buy into that, like look good, feel good. Like
I agree.
I think like I never did, and then I don't know, maybe I got a haircut before a race and I ran well or something, and I just like I kind of like that feeling. So I've actually booked a haircut for the week of conference. So I'm gonna get my haircut like for the race. I think it makes a bit of a difference. So I'm gonna say underrated, even though I thought I was gonna say overrated. I thought about it. I'm like, actually, I don't like do my hair, but I just like having a haircut before a race. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
So would you say that's a superstition now, or no?
No, it's not a superstition. Because like, I'm not getting a haircut before every race.
Okay.
That's
too much.
No, but like conference, it's a big enough deal that I'm gonna.
Yeah. Okay, let's do superstitions next. I'm going to go underrated. I don't know if it's technically superstitions or like just having like, I guess it would be. Like I love having a plan that I follow before every game.
Yeah.
But I'm not like, oh, if I don't do this at this specific time, like blah, blah, blah is going to happen. Yeah. Like I just love going out early and shooting, listening to my music. Like I think that helps me just prepare mentally well. I don't know if it's technically a superstition. I do wear the same scrunchie every game day, though.
Yeah, that's superstitious.
Yeah, that's cherry scrunchie every game day.
Yeah, I kind of go back and forth with this one. Like, I don't like superstitions as a whole. Like, I just don't.
Yeah.
Like, it's not my thing. But I will say, like, when I'm tying my shoes, like, do I always tie the left one first? Like, yeah, I do.
Really?
You consider that superstitious? Like, probably. But I think it's just also habit. Like, we are creatures of habit.
True.
But I don't like to get into the mode of like, I need to do this every time. Because then if you don't have it, you're like thrown off. So I try to be like structured, but not like dependent. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like, for example,
I would agree on that,
like,
honestly.
Like I like to have things in a certain way, but not to the point where I need it to be that way.
Mm-hmm. We're not at like insanity level yet. We're organized and planned. We all have
teammates or people that like need to do things a certain way for them to feel like they can perform, and that's not me. That's not how I'm going to perform.
I agree. So are you going overrated? Overrated?
Question. I'm going to say overrated.
Okay.
Overrated.
David never picks just rated, even if he's like mixed.
I've done it maybe once on this show.
Okay.
But I like to pick a side.
Okay.
Like I'm going to give you a take. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is temple
takes.
takes.
Also, like, just a reminder, if you're listening to this and you're like, I could not disagree more, like, I want to hear your take.
Yeah,
like,
we'd love to hear it.
I'd love to hear your take.
We're passionate about it. We share our passion with you. Share it back.
You don't do a sport, apply it to your job. Apply it to your job. Like
big meeting. I always got to do this.
What do you do before a meeting? Like, tell me. I want to know.
Yeah, and where do they send these takes to you, David?
That would be at the Owl Podcast on Instagram. Fire the DMs. If for some reason you don't have Instagram, that's fine.
My phone number is 4.
I'm not gonna rip the phone number, but yeah, maybe if that's a problem.
We got an email account we could shoot.
If in a couple episodes, no DMs, I'm gonna assume no one has Instagram. I'll put my email on the podcast. But
and if that doesn't work, then I'll give my phone number out. Then my address.
We'll just keep going to more extremes. But I'm gonna bank on getting some DMs for next episode. So I'll hold off on dropping the email address.
Okay, I'm ready to see these DMs. All right, next let's do music before a game. I'm a big music girl. I'm not gonna lie. I love both like headphones music and speaker music because I think it gives me like different vibes. But like if I'm doing my pregame like shoot around, I have my Beats on. Shout out Beats. Me and David are big Beats fans.
Huge Beats.
And we have the same ones. Tan.
Sandstone.
Wow, I didn't know the color. Thank you for that. So I love that. I love listening to my own music and being in my own like headspace about that. Big rap girl. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
That's my go-to before games. And then once we come back in to the locker room, I'm on the speaker then, and it's usually like more EDM, like high energy stuff, and we do a little dance party, our team. So we get the energy really high, and I think music before games is underrated, and it plays a lot into like getting the nerves out and just like getting hyped together.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the pros of having like you're a rah-rah sport. Right?
Yeah.
Like you guys are a rah-rah sport. So like I love that. Honestly, I kind of want that. Like that fires me up hearing like the speaker coming out, EDM. Like I love that stuff. But like on game day, like none of it for me.
Yeah.
Like I just don't like I listen to music, but it's like I'm not trying to get hype. And that sucks because like I want to get hype. Like I love like watching clips of like people running out of the tunnel. You know, like college football coaches, they run out of the tunnel. There's a clip of your beloved Bama.
Kalen DeBeer smacking the goalpost before the Tennessee dub this weekend.
Is it DeBeer or is it DeBoer?
DeBoer.
Kalen DeBoer.
DeBoer. Sorry, my accent came out.
Kalen DeBoer ran out of the tunnel and just smacked the goalpost. I'm like, this guy fired me up.
Someone said the game was won the moment he did that.
I did see that as well. Well, I just love stuff like that, but unfortunately, it's not applicable to me. And in my sport, like as much as I'd love to get like EDM in the ears and just get fired up, like it's not gonna do well for me on the course.
Yeah.
So I just keep it mellow. I keep it chill. I put music in, but for me, it's overrated. Just because like sometimes I feel like the louder the music is in my ears, the more tired I get.
Okay. So, what genre do you usually go to?
I actually like to listen to country music before races.
See, like that would make sense for like trying to stay like kind of more mellow. I guess.
I keep it like very kind of chill.
Okay.
So
all right.
That's not a good answer, and I, as you can tell, the audience knows. Like this one pains me to say. Like I don't want to say overrated.
Yeah, but it's different for everyone for sure. And then for the grand finale, we're gonna obviously have to tie in some cherry and white for our Owl fans, and we're gonna talk about uniforms.
Uniforms. I mean,
game day uniforms.
There's nothing like going to your locker room and seeing your uniform in the locker.
Yeah, it just like gets you excited.
That like, does get me, and that happens the day before for us. Like we don't go to the locker room the day of a race. Mm-hmm. So like the uniform isn't there. It's like, oh, it's coming.
It's time.
And like then you see the color, and that's what we're gonna talk about: cherry or white. It's not overrated, underrated. It's do you prefer the cherry or the white? Because every team, you're repping cherry or white. We know the rules are coming in. They're coming in pretty strong. No alternate uniforms. It's cherry. It's white. Mm-hmm. Which one?
We used to have some black uniforms. That's what David's talking about, but we do not do those anymore.
We actually wore black shorts this weekend. We had cherry on top, black shorts.
Arthur, if you're listening, no, they didn't.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
This is a tough decision for me. I'm not gonna lie, because we do like white at home, cherry away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I feel like is not normal. I feel like football's the opposite, right? Cherry at home, white away.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we do white at home. So I'm gonna have to go white. I love the white. I love cherry, but I think white just brings like the game day vibes, and it's like home field advantage. I love Howarth Field.
It's a great field.
Yeah.
I love Howarth Field also. I will say, for us, I don't know if the audience will care about this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Like for us, like when I was an underclassman, we only wore the white uniform in postseason. So it's kind of like you put the white uniform on, you feel kind of like you made the postseason roster.
Okay.
It was a cool feeling. Especially last year, like putting on the white uniform, I was like, this is pretty cool. We switched it up. So now we wear white and cherry just like interchangeably.
Like, okay.
So I think I have a special place in my heart for the white uniform, but there's nothing like putting on the cherry for me. Mm-hmm. I love it. I just love, like, I feel like our color, cherry, other teams, they wear red, we wear cherry. I think it's just cool to have that kind of a color.
Yeah.
So I would go with the cherry, because I think for me it's like a lot of teams, like especially for running, they all have white uniforms, but
no one has the cherry like us.
You don't see much cherry with the owl out there. So
yeah.
I'm gonna go cherry, but I do love the white uniforms.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. We have great colors. We really do.
And we have good uniforms, honestly.
We have great uniforms. Shout out Nike. And we also have just, like, I think we have some of the best colors.
And it's not red. We always we correct people from the day you come to Temple. It's not red and white. It's cherry and white. It is cherry. Yeah. No doubt. That was a great Temple Take segment. I actually really enjoyed that. Game day essentials. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. My favorite time.
Yeah. We're leaving my favorite section onto yours.
Let's talk our foul. And this week.
Wait, I need to have my line.
Oh my God.
For those
I apologize.
Who this is maybe your first time here, Thank you for coming. Owl or Foul is our segment where owl is something that is soaring upwards.
That's right. It's soaring.
Soaring. Shout out the American Conference mascot, Soar. And then foul is going to be something that needs a little improvement or
the
just needs to be talked about
say
more.
It's self-explanatory.
Yeah.
And this one is definitely self-explanatory.
If you've been here at all, if you've been on Temple's campus, you know this.
Temple's campus, you know this one to be true. But let's start with the owl.
Yeah, of course.
The owl of this week is not just Temple football, but Temple football having a better record than the Penn State Nittany Lions.
We own this state.
We own this state, and yes, for those Pitt Panther fans, I know your record is technically better.
We didn't have to talk about them.
But I just don't want some Pitt fan coming into the
Owls
podcast.
are soaring above them.
Look, I acknowledge that Pitt has only had 2 losses and we have 3. You lined the Temple Owls up against the Pitt Panthers. We are giving them the belt.
Okay.
We're giving them the belt. I'm sorry. And for Penn State, for me, growing up in the suburbs of Pennsylvania, the amount of Penn State fans I had to deal with, growing up, I never liked Penn State. And now, to look at the records and see the Temple Owls soaring to above 500 while the Nittany Lions are losing game after game. Look, it's clear owl of the week.
Yeah. David's never been more excited for an owl, I'm not going to lie.
I'm so pumped up. You guys have no idea. Penn State football in turmoil. Coach Keeler and the Owls, we're just rising up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's the owl of the week. If I see any Pitt or Penn State fans in the DMs, I will gladly take it up with you, over
we'll
there.
pull up some facts and some player comparisons maybe.
Let the Owls have their moment.
Yeah. All right, and then moving on to the foul. Like we said, if you've been anywhere on Temple's campus, I think especially in the fall and winter, it is terrible.
It's really bad. Especially over by Morgan Hall.
Yeah. So the foul this week is gonna be the wind.
Yeah.
Has to be.
It's especially bad on Temple's campus. I go downtown and the wind's there obviously, but it's just not as bad. I think it has something to do with the way the buildings are designed.
Definitely in Morgan. The Morgan wind tunnel.
Yeah, it's a real thing. And not just there, but I'm walking especially around Cecil, something with the way the buildings are shaped. The wind, I mean, look, an architect could tell me I'm out of my mind or an engineer.
I really hope an architect
probably,
comes in the DMs.
Probably not the person to be stating this as if I know it to be true, but there has to be something that is different about the campus. The wind is so bad. It's so bad.
You heard it here. Philadelphia is the windy city.
Yeah, not Chicago.
North Philadelphia is the windy city.
North Philadelphia. and I'm looking outside right now, and I just see these trees are shaking.
It's always like this.
Yeah. I was about to say something really cringy, and I just stopped myself.
Thank you. I'm glad I didn't have to hear it, and our listeners are glad too.
Our listeners, I have to say the trees.
No.
All right, never mind.
On that point, we're gonna end it before David says something.
If you guys want to hear what I had to say, you can check back next week.
Oh my gosh! All right. Well, this was a fun podcast.
It's a fun one. No guest, but I had a great time.
We made the best of it.
Next week we'll have a guest for you. We're not gonna say who.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't even know who. Maybe
leave them wondering.
Yeah, think about it. If you want to be on the Owl Pod,
you know where to find us.
You know where to find us.
DMs on Insta.
We would love to have you.
Comment on the Insta. Show some love.
Yeah, and also tell a friend. Share it with a friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get the Owl Pod out there. But that's it for now. As always, go Owls.